I buy altcoins because they go up more during the bull run. I want to get that inherent leverage, as in when Bitcoin goes up just 5%, then the altcoins can go up 10%, 15%. That's why I want to be in altcoins in a bull market. This is what most people think, but I disagree actually. Most altcoins do not outperform Bitcoin, even in a bull market. At most of the times, there isn't even an altcoin rotation. So altcoins might simply just go with Bitcoin. So there are some altcoins, a few altcoins, that outperform Bitcoin sometimes. Most of the times, most altcoins underperform. And so this whole concept of inherent leverage is not a good idea because the winner takes most. If you simply have a broadly diversified portfolio of, say, 50 altcoins, then the likelihood of you underperforming, say, over the next year or two versus Bitcoin is incredibly high. Feel free to check out coinmarketcap.com/historical or search for that, right? CoinMarketCap historical. And have a look at the top 100 altcoins 2 years, 3 years, 4 years ago. You will not be able to recognize a lot of the altcoins in that list. The top altcoins have changed drastically over the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And that's because there's simply so much competition. There's so much dynamic happening in the altcoin market. You don't just want to buy and hold a broadly diversified portfolio of altcoins. And you don't just want to ride the bull market with altcoins. The odds are actually better in your favor if when you're thinking that Bitcoin goes up, that you actually lever up your Bitcoin exposure. So you could lever up your Bitcoin by, say, 50%, so by 1.5x. So when Bitcoin goes up 10%, then your position goes up 15%. That's a safer way of getting risk on than buying altcoins. A good reason to buy altcoins is very much different. It's not the inherent leverage. Crypto is a game of skill and luck. Obviously, there's luck involved, right? We cannot predict if suddenly, say, a whale buys into a coin. But it's also a matter of skill, as in we can analyze trends. We can see whether or not retail investors are buying into something. We can potentially identify if a coin simply just gets manipulated up, if this is one whale that's buying all of the supply. We can figure these things out. So it's a game of both luck and skill. And the more trades you do, the longer you play the game, the less important the luck component becomes, right? The luck cancels each other out if you throw the dice often enough. But the skill component, that's the one that shines through over time, right? That's why there are casinos. You might be winning in a casino short term, but if you play in a casino every day, 4 years, hundreds of games, you are guaranteed to lose and the casino is guaranteed to win. So in the end, it's all about the skill component. And so why would we then go into the altcoins? It's because you might potentially need less skill in order to beat the altcoin market versus other markets. So this is how you have to think about this. Skill is not measured on a 0 to 100 scale, and there's maybe the one person that analyzes the blockchain 10 hours every day, and then there's this other person that just randomly follows Twitter.
This needs to go to 1 million or March buyers now will make millions. This is how you get the clicks on YouTube, but this is not how you beat the market. To beat the market in crypto, you need to be better informed than the rest. You need to be better skilled than the rest. You need to do better blockchain analytics. You need to track other people's wallets and know what is the smart money doing. It's the boring educational content that forms skill that doesn't perform so well on YouTube though. That's why I created the premium membership. Feel free to check it out. We are tracking influencer wallets to find out what they are buying before promoting this on YouTube. We've got a lot of tutorials to help with on-chain analytics, to help with wallet discovery. And of course, there are also plenty of chats where we help each other and also one-on-one conversations with me. So I'm messaging every premium member one-on-one directly. Once you're joining, you will get a message from me and you have the opportunity to directly pick my brain. Feel free to check it out. thebitcointrader.com. Link is down below.
Skill is measured relative to the market, as in it is incredibly tough to beat, say, the currency exchange market because there's all kinds of quants involved. The market is super, super deep. There are people with very heavy algorithms trying to predict the market. And you are there with your private computer with very expensive retail rates, with very high spreads, trying to beat the market. How likely is it that you're going to be among the winners? It's going to be super, super unlikely. Something similar can be said for large cap stocks, because large cap stocks get analyzed by the banks and by the investment firms, right? They've got analysts that look very deeply into the industry, that really look deeply into the P&Ls, into the balance sheets, into the annual reports, the quarterly reports. They know all the micro little detail. They've got all of the human resources, all the human power to look at the very fine details, to estimate better than you where the price might be going. But this is then where we have to talk about inefficiencies, right? The smaller the market is, or the more fragmented a market is, the more inefficient it tends to be. For example, the property market, right, is super fragmented. If you know your local area very well, if you know, say, that an international school will be opened in this particular area, or if you know that maybe a train station might get built in a particular area, then the property prices in that area might go up afterwards, right? So you can beat the market by that knowledge if you know about things that most people don't know about. However, in a very homogeneous market, right, where $1 can be exchanged for another dollar, the efficiency of the market tends to be much higher. It's much harder to beat the market. And so that's why we want to get into the altcoins. The altcoins are super, super heterogeneous. There are thousands of altcoins with incredibly different tokenomics. There are thousands of altcoins with different holder distributions, with different accumulation patterns, with different utility assigned to them. There are a ton of differences across the altcoins, and there is not a lot of professional money in altcoins. Most altcoin trading still happens by retail. So your competition is just the other guy with this personal computer that might not do all this on-chain analytics, that might not follow every single message in the Discord channel about this particular crypto project. You can gain a market edge by learning a lot, by getting skill, but also by putting in all the time to research that particular project. And so this is how you can win, right? It's relative to the other people in the market. You do not have to be an Einstein in order to beat the altcoin market. You do have to be very close to Einstein to beat the foreign exchange market. So we want to find out what's the least efficient of the markets. That's the one that we're trading. That's the one we invest our time in. And that's the one that we can then in the end also beat. You want to be able to estimate the bottoms and the tops in an altcoin better than the average. And this is easier with the altcoins than with any other market. So why are we getting into the altcoins? It's not because of the inherent leverage. It's not because everything is going up and we want to get more exposure to crypto just because Bitcoin is going up. We get into the altcoins in order to beat others, in order to have weak competition, in order to estimate those bottoms and those tops better and make money that way. That's, I think, the best reason. Otherwise, again, right, simply just levering up Bitcoin slightly might be the better risk to reward if you simply just want to get more exposure to crypto because you're bullish on crypto. Again, because most altcoins underperform Bitcoin most of the times. The winner takes most. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time. Cheers.